My friend tricked me to take her wedding pictures for free after she excluded me from everything. Devious.
Yeah.
Devious.
Cruel.
Backstory. I met my childhood BFF, we'll call her Cassie, when we were 10 years old, and I had just moved to her town/school. She was one of the first people in school to befriend me, and the friendship was pretty rock solid all throughout middle school and high school. By the way, this comes from Mysterious Vamp 1207 on the OK Storytime subreddit. So we both helped each other out and leaned on one another through tough times, like her dad passing away and me having very emotionally abusive and toxic parents and siblings.
Oof.
A story for another day, perhaps. We ended up going to different colleges, but they were in the same city, so we were still able to see one another fairly regularly. In college, Cassie was roommates with another one of our close school friends, who also attended college with her. We'll call her Anna. There were times when I would meet up with Anna without Cassie because she was busy or something, and Anna informed me many times how Cassie was changing and wasn't the friend that we both loved and remembered her being. It seems Cassie had met a new friend in college who we'll call Karen, because why the heck not? According to Anna, Karen was one of the biggest B words she had ever met in her life, and she was rubbing off on Cassie big time. Because of Karen's influence, Cassie began constantly judging Anna for everything she did, being extremely rude and downright mean. It became unbearable for Anna to be in the dorm with Cassie if Karen was there. The biggest example that I can remember was Cassie telling Anna what she could and could not eat because Anna really needed to watch her weight.
Ew.
Shut up.
Ew.
Shut up. You suck. Anna was not and has never been overweight. Cassie's reasoning for the comment, well, we have all seen your mom, Anna. You better start getting on top of your weight now.
Oh my God.
When Anna told me Cassie said this, I was shocked. Never in 1,000 years would I have ever imagined Cassie saying something so horrible to our friend. When I confronted Cassie, her excuse was, well, I was just repeating what Karen said. Karen had never even met Anna's mom, and even if she did, Cassie should have defended Anna rather than agreeing with Karen.
There you go.
That's a really stupid excuse. Like, oh,
Yeah.
well, someone else said it, so why did you say it?
Yeah, so then why are you like agreeing?
I scolded Cassie and she tried to double down, but eventually agreed to apologize to Anna, which Anna said she did. As college went on, however, Anna drifted from Cassie, who only got closer to Karen. After college, Anna moved back to her hometown, and admittedly, I lost touch with her, but I do enjoy seeing her happy family photos that she posts on Facebook. Cassie and I stayed in our college city after we graduated and remained friends, but since Karen's arrival in her life, it was honestly a struggle for me to keep close to Cassie. I had met Karen several times throughout the years, and she was exactly as horrible as Anna always described. But still, Cassie and I maintained that type of friendship where we were always there for each other no matter what. Birthdays, breakups, in the family, staying on each other's couches in between apartment moves, whatever. The wedding. When Cassie got engaged when we were 25, I was thrilled for her. Since we were 10, we had always talked about being each other's maid of honor. We'd even talked about it recently when things were getting serious with her fiance, who we'll call Graham. To my surprise, when Cassie announced her bridal party, I wasn't in it at all.
What?
Karen was her maid of honor, and the only other bridesmaid is Cassie's soon-to-be stepdaughter, who is 10 to 11-ish. I was hurt, but didn't say anything because it's her wedding and she can have whoever she wants in her bridal party. Since I was in the midst of starting up my photography business at the time, I offered to do the photos for Cassie's wedding instead at a very discounted rate, only $200. Cassie says thank you, but that her uncle, who is a professional photographer, offered to do them for free. I say okay and move on, planning to just be a guest. Karen was the one who planned and hosted Cassie's engagement party and bridal shower, and surprise, surprise, she didn't invite me to either one. This is pretty crazy.
Oh, that's so sad.
Like someone you've known for years who like you're still pretty close to.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until after the parties that Cassie texted me and asked where I had been.
What?
Girl, she's been not invited. That's what she's been. I was very confused both times as I didn't know a thing about these parties. She seemed disappointed that I wasn't there, yet wasn't ever angry with Karen for not inviting me.
Boom.
She's like, why the frick weren't you there? And
Yeah.
Opie's like, I wasn't invited. And she's like, well, that's no excuse.
Yeah, exactly.
She did insist to Karen, however, that she had invited me to the bachelorette party. I assured Cassie that I wouldn't miss it. Just tell me the day and time and I would be there. Surprise, surprise. I was excluded again.
No.
On the night of the bachelorette party, I was working, bartending, when Karen texted me saying the party was happening right now and that Cassie wanted me there. Girl, you gotta give her more warning than it's right now.
Right.
It was a busy Saturday night and I was scheduled to close. There was no way I could just up and leave, and Karen undoubtedly knew this as she knew that I was a bartender. I still reiterated this to her, and she called me a loser bee for bailing on Cassie when I promised to be there.
What?
Then tell her the date.
Yeah.
Just tell her the date.
Give her a normal amount of time to figure out her schedule because it
Yeah.
doesn't revolve around you, Karen.
Nope. I said I would have been had she not waited to invite me until the middle of the event. When Cassie later texted me asking where I was, I sent her screenshots of my conversation with Karen, proving that once again she didn't invite me. Cassie never responded.
Oh, boy.
The following weekend was the wedding. The reception was going to be at Cassie and Graham's house in the backyard and catered by friends and family, potluck style, since they were on a tight budget. I took Friday off from work and spent the whole day helping to cook food and set up decorations for the reception. Despite her promising to be there, Karen was nowhere to be found the entire day with no explanation. I even filled in for her during the rehearsal. Not gonna lie, I was really hoping that Cassie would drop Karen as maid of honor and tag me in. Believe me, I was ready for it, but sadly that did not happen.
Aw.
Before leaving that night, Cassie asked me for a favor. She said that she and her future stepdaughter, we'll call Grace, were going to go to Karen's house in the morning to do their nails, makeup, and hair, and asked if I would come and take photos of it since her uncle was not comfortable taking photos of that kind of situation. Weird, I thought, but okay. I arrive at Karen's house in the morning before Cassie, and Karen slams the door in my face and refuses to let me in, even knowing full well why I was there. Cassie and Grace arrive a few minutes later, and I follow them in. I was not shy about why I was sitting on the porch instead of inside. Cassie had no comment on Karen's rudeness. Karen offers coffee, water, or juice, as well as muffins and bagels to Cassie and Grace, and openly states that there is none for me. There was plenty they could have shared. What? Karen must be like super territorial, Cassie.
I guess, which is like so weird to do over a friend.
Yeah. It's
Like
get
anyone,
over it.
but especially a friend.
Yeah. She's allowed to have more friends than you, Karen.
Right. Especially a friend that she's had since she was like 10.
Again, Cassie says nothing. Karen wouldn't even let me pull up a chair. I had to sit on the floor. Even Grace, who was like 11, commented on how Karen was rude and mean.
Wow.
Yet Cassie said nothing.
Dang.
I needed to leave at some point to go home and get ready for get myself ready for the wedding. But Cassie wanted me to stay and go right over with them to the church to get photos of her putting on her dress because, again, her uncle wasn't comfortable with that. I called my boyfriend and asked him to bring my dress, shoes, and makeup bag to the church, and I would just get ready there. At the church, Karen throws a fit when I try to get ready in the bridal suite, demanding that it's for the bridal party only, which you are not. I would leave.
Yeah.
I would leave. I'd be like, okay, I was trying to do a favor for you guys.
Right.
I'm gonna dip.
Obviously, I'm not wanted here,
Yeah.
so peace out.
And I end up having to change in a tiny bathroom stall because, again, Cassie will not stand up for me. About 10 minutes before the wedding starts, Cassie comes to me and informs me that her uncle, who lives 2 hours away, has forgotten his camera and begs me to do all the photos for her wedding. The uncle never knew that this was happening.
Dude.
I don't buy that the uncle was ever clued in about this.
You're so right about that. You're so right.
Since there's no time for him to go home and get it, I asked the logical question, what kind of professional photographer forgets his camera for a wedding he's shooting?
Yeah.
Cassie ignores my question and continues to beg and plead. I tell her that I will, but for my originally offered price of $200. She tells me that she cannot afford that since she and Graham never budgeted for a photographer. Bummer. Aw. That sucks.
So sorry.
I guess you can't have photos.
Yeah.
She nearly started crying, so being the good friend that I am, I agreed to do the photos for free. Girl, no. Stop letting her push you down, walk all over you.
Yeah.
This is unacceptable. Here's the real kicker. After the ceremony, my boyfriend finds the uncle and learns that not once did Cassie ever ask him to do the photos for her wedding.
Dang.
He even said that he would never do a wedding for free, not even for family.
Dang.
And would have charged her like $1,000.
Yeah, $200 is
so
cheap.
Yes, so cheap. for a
So
wedding.
cheap.
I'm guessing she knew this. It seems that her intent all along was to con me into doing them for free. When I later talked to Cassie's mom about this, who, keep in mind, I have known since I was 10, she tells me that not only was this true, but that it was all Karen's idea. Of course it was freaking Karen's idea.
Of course it was Karen's idea.
And Cassie can't say no to Karen.
Right. For some reason. But also blame both of them. Like, it's not just Karen's fault.
Oh, no, it's absolutely Cassie's fault. Because she's a pushover and also mean.
Yes.
She's a mean girl. Our mom had told her not to do that to me, and it was wrong and would upset me, and you don't do that to your best friend. But clearly Cassie did not listen. I decided not to confront Cassie that day since it was her wedding day, despite my boyfriend trying to get me to boot stomp her during her first dance. It was tempting. After the last of the photos were taken, my boyfriend and I left without a word. Not once throughout the day had I gotten so much as a thank you from the bride. Oh, and Karen beat and complained and tried to make things heck for me when we were doing group and couple photos after the ceremony. No shock there, and it was the groom who did finally tell her to shut the F up. Finally.
Her own groom was...
to Karen. So this is Cassie's, Graham, who's just got married to Cassie, told Karen to shut the F up.
Dude, period.
I learned later that he hates her too, and we bonded over it at the reception. LOL.
Nice.
Kind of crazy to like hate your partner's best friend.
Yeah.
And
not
talk
like
about
have that.
it, yeah.
Yeah. Like, feel like he would have some say.
You would think. 4 days after the wedding, Cassie starts asking where the wedding photos are.
Girl.
I tell her that I haven't gotten to them yet because I've been picking up extra bartending shifts to make up for the revenue I lost the weekend of her wedding. Weekends are always more profitable for bartending, and I take the days off, not loss of revenue because of the photos, though obviously that was also true. She just says, oh, and nothing else.
Dude.
She did say thank you. I'm so angry about her.
Yeah.
She did say thank you when I did finally give her the photos a couple of weeks later, which is like a totally normal time to get someone. Like,
yes.
There's retouching to do and like the lighting, and there's all the editing and stuff that goes into sending out photos that you've taken.
I really hope that she just sent her like the originals.
I think she should have.
And all the blurry stuff is just like, here, like, I took the photos. Yeah. You can deal with the rest because you didn't.
You can hire someone to fix them.
Because that's like the biggest part that you like pay photographers for is all the like post like editing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I also finally confronted her about the situation. She apologized for going along with Karen's idea, but only apologized because her new husband coerced her to do so.
Oh my gosh.
Graham even tried to give me $100, so she also lied about not having the money.
Right.
But Cassie stopped him, saying that I had agreed to do it for free.
No! This is so upsetting.
She then said that the photos were like my gift to them, but I had also gotten them an actual wedding gift, a set of new glassware from the registry that was like $200. Which I regret not taking back on the day of the wedding when my boyfriend told me to. Definitely should have.
You are too nice,
my
guy. Too nice.
We lost touch for a little over a year after this, and oddly, it's not what broke our friendship beyond repair, but that's a story for another day. Let me know if you want to hear it. But I know that you guys want to hear more stories like this, so go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search up OK Storytime.
Yes.
And there is a little bit left.
Please do send in that story.
Please do send it in. I want to know how your I want to know how your friendship got destroyed if it wasn't this.
Yes, I want Cassie to get what's coming to her.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. Like, she's taking advantage of you. She's blaming it all on Karen.
Right.
When she was as active of a participant in this.
Exactly.
And she also refuses to pay OP back.
Yeah.
Like, she literally conned OP into taking photographs for a wedding and refuses to pay her.
Literally, like her husband was like willing to.
Yeah, he was like, "Here, I'll give you 100." Should have given her 200.
She was like, "No, stop right there.
She doesn't need the money.
Don't
like,
do a
what?
nice thing for my bestie."
Yeah, that's not your friend.
Mm-mm.
But there is an edit.
Let's
to finish this story off. Edit for all those wondering why I didn't walk out or keep the photos. It was less about me being a doormat and more about me valuing the friendship more than she clearly did at the time. You have to keep in mind that we have been friends for 15 plus years and been through a lot of deep crap together. So even if she wasn't being a friend to me, I still wanted to be there for her on her big day, as I had planned for a long time. It pained me that I wouldn't get the memories of her bridal shower and bachelorette party, so I was going to be danged if I was going to miss the wedding. It sucks that looking back it wasn't a great memory, but I don't regret being there. And giving the photos to her was also me giving them to her husband, who had done nothing wrong. And that is the end of that story.
Dang, OP is just so nice.
Too nice.
That makes a lot of sense, honestly, because like, obviously Cassie's not a good friend, and maybe this is the kind of last straw kind of thing, like last hurrah of being friends, of like, this is all the effort I have. Yeah. I'm going to give it into your wedding. Cause like, that is a thing for herself, for OP, of like, I want to see you on your big day. Like it's not just about me having fun on your big day. You know what I mean? It's like, I want to be there, to just see it happen. Something that like, we dreamed about when we were 10 years old. So that makes a lot of sense that like she wanted to be there, but hopefully she like lets this be the kind of last effort.
Yeah, don't put up with this behavior. I mean, like, she's proven time and time again that she's not going to change and that she's got to let Karen do whatever she wants. So until she can,
figure that out,
not be a child anymore, you don't have to be friends with her.
And I mean, maybe it's the kind of thing where it's like, once you realize that like you're not getting anything out of this friendship and then you do leave, maybe she'll miss you. And then she'll realize like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I love this person and they're gone now because of me.
Yeah, and then you can say, too little, too late.
Exactly.